The lenses on the other side.
No, the rubber bands.
Likutei Moharan, Torah Yud Ches. So we learned a very complex inyan that the Shleimus HaMalchus, which is represented in the story with the argas, the roigas, that has avonim tevis in it, that has gems, precious gems set into it. That is the Malchus with the emunah, that's protecting it. It says the main manifestation of Malchus is the Dibur. As it is said in Tikkun Zohar, Malchus Peh. The Malchus is the Peh, because the mouth is the thing that expresses what's in the mind. That's the outer, that's the Malchus. The Malchus is always the outside that manifests what's inside, that expresses what's inside. That's the Malchus. Everything which is outside is the Malchus. Covered is outside, because covered is not part of you. It's something that Kibichel surrounds you. The skin is Malchus. There are many levels. In the level of a naked person, the skin is the Malchus. When a person is dressed, then the Begadim are the Malchus. In the level of mental activity, the mouth is the Malchus. Why? Because that's the outside of the outside level of the machshava, of the thought. Always the outside. That's the keli. That's the Malchus. So Mimele, the Malchus that we're talking about, that we say that if you mollify, if you mitigate your anger with Rachmanas, you're giving the Malchus the Tzadikim, which means that Dibur, that Dibur is Bishlemus. The Malchus, their Malchus the Kedusha Bishlemus. Okay. So therefore, that's the Dibur. The Dibur is Bishlemus. The Dibur is made of oisius. Now we're going to molecular level. The particles from which the Dibur is made of are the letters, are the oisius, which means that they are not only the perfect Dibur. Perfect Dibur is not possible without perfect oisius, right? Without perfect letters. So mineu vei, they are to perfect letters. Okay, then we says, okay, what does it mean, perfect letters? That the completion of any letter is the ois yud. That's the dot, the last dot. Like if you're making a letter that's made out of two lines, like a daled or whatever, the shleimus is that dot that connects them. If they're disconnected, it's not a noise, it's not a letter. It's only when that thing is in here, okay, now it's connected, now it's a complete letter. Every letter has one last dot, one dot that if you take it out, the letter is not kosher. So the shleimus oisius is that dot, which is the yud. That's the letter. The shleimus oisius is yud. Now, what represents in the creation? What is yud in creation? It's olam haba. Because we said that olam haba was created with the yud, and olam hazeh is created with the hey. So mimele, the tzaddikim, once they get the malchus, they get it properly. They get it, as in French, it's a comme il faut, the way it's supposed to be. So they get it with perfect oisius, the perfect dibur, which is dibur emunah, of course, the perfect dibur, that perfect emunah, perfect malchus with perfect dibur. Perfect dibur means the yud is in there. Yud is in there, that means that they have olam haba. They have a grasp on olam haba because of their perfect dibur. So tzaddikim ve'emes, they have a grasp on olam haba. And every person, as much as he's embedded in the neshama of the tzaddik, also has epis, a tfisa in olam haba also. Even though olam haba by itself is a concept that you cannot possibly, imagine, like you couldn't imagine what it would be like to have another hand coming out of your back. There's no possibility. remember years ago, make a bracha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam shehakol midboren. Amen. I give a little mushal of this thing, and to boast a little bit of something that happened many years ago. I went to Rabbi Meir Shechter. I wanted to meet with him. He told me he's a tzaddik, and he was about take care in the shul in Mea Sharim before Uman was open. Everybody was there. Rabbi Yitzchak was there. Rabbi Cheshin was there. Shmuel Shapir was. Everybody was there. Who was the Baal Tekeh? Baal Tekeh was Rabbi Meir Shechter. Was a Ingemar. And the Rebbe says that he should be Baal Tekeh should be a tzaddik. So I wanted to get to know him. But at that time, with all those heavyweights going around, he was like he had a few little people who were corrupt to him like Rabbi Gottlieb has today. Some people that are close to him, or he was like on the fringe. Everybody knew he was a tzaddik. It was about Yisurim and everything else. So I came to him. In those times there was no gabolim or nothing. I came to him and he said, "Yeah." I said, "The chutzpah is unbelievable." So I said, "I have a question. Would you mind if I told you this question is in the form of a vort that I thought of, a chiddush I thought of?" He says, "No, but by all means." So I said like this. Check out Makas Choshech. Okay? It was 6 days. The plague of darkness was 6 days. The Medrash says 3 days the Mitzrim could get up and sit down, but they couldn't get anywhere. The second 3 days, any Mitzrim that sat down couldn't get up. If you stood up, you couldn't get down. So comes the question, why not? You close your eyes, you can't get up and sit down. They tie your eyes with whatchamacallit, they tie your eyes with masking tape, with duct tape. You still getting up and getting down. What's the So this says Vayamash Choshech, that the Choshech had a mamoshes. It has a viscosity. It had a thickness. It had a mamoshes. So I said, but that's not an answer either. That then they couldn't get up, not because it was dark. They couldn't get because something physical was tying them down. Was not letting them get up. You tie a person down with rope, in broad daylight he won't be able to get up. It has nothing to do with darkness. The darkness, viscosity is not part of darkness. Darkness is only like a light. So what gives? What's the pshat here? So I said, I don't know if it happened to you, but if you ever, you lie on your side on your bed with your hand like this, and the blood flow to the hand gets cut off a little bit, and your hand falls asleep. And at that time you don't know if your hand is up or your hand is down. Ever happened to you like that? You don't know if it's like this or it's like this. At such a state, you can't lift your hand up or put your hand down because you don't know if it's up or down. If the hand up, you have no concept of how do you put up a hand which is already up. It's not a part of human experience. Should you put it up? Maybe it's already down. You don't know how to command a hand which is down to get down. So you're totally paralyzed. Because you don't have a realization of where you are. Maybe you have no chance. In order to do any kind of voluntary movement, You have to have a notion of, some kind of notion of where you're at, and pachot yoter, where it is that you want to go, what it is that you want to do, so you move from here to there. But if you don't have any idea where you are, what's your state, you can't do anything, because you can't command your muscles to do anything. To reach over there. Maybe it's supposed to reach like this to get there. If I don't know that I'm here, there's no way I can. So I said, maybe we can say that the first 3 days, it was a darkness that hid from the Mitzrayim their surroundings. So the only thing they could do is get up and sit down, but they could not get anywhere. The second period of 3 days, the darkness has descended on their own mamoshes, on their own isness. They lost all feel of if they're sitting up, if they're sitting down or standing up. By the way, there's a medical condition like that, you should know. How could you stand up? Maybe they're standing up. Person has no idea, how his mind cannot tell his body to stand up once you're already standing up. How do you stand up then? Sit down, maybe they're already sitting down. He loved it. He said this is emes lamita. He said, afterwards he told the Yom told me he's looking for you. He says, where's this Baal Tshuva, the Baal Das? Where is he? He liked it a lot. I told him, that's my situation. I don't have a clue. I don't know pshat about myself. What am I? Am I good? Am I bad? Am I up? Am I down? Am I the worst person on earth? Am I the best? I don't have a clue. I'm talking about So here,
you're going to continue.
What?
You're going to continue.
What do you mean I'm going to continue? Yeah.
You hit a grand slam. Yeah.
So, Mimele, the Asag of Olam Haba, is totally beyond the human experience. It's not like, when you notice, when they make movies about aliens, either they're humanoid or they're insectoid. It's always, they look like a variation on something that people already know. Amoebas, or bees, or rocks, or worms, or fish, or birds, but people cannot imagine anything which is outside their realm of experience. That's why Olam Haba is totally beyond, B'chinas Yud is totally beyond, but it's tzaddikim because they get the malchus. And their malchus is b'shleimus. The dir is b'shleimus, mimele the ois is b'shleimus. Ois are perfect, means the yud is there. The yud is there, they have a grasp in it. You have a grasp, you're embedded in the Shalom of the Tzaddik, you can have a grasp in it as well. וזה בחינס בכל דרכיך דאר. You should know him in all your ways. In everything that you do, remember Kodesh Baruch will do whatever it is you do l'shem shamayim. שיוכל אדם להשיג התחס בכל דבר. That a person should be able to perceive, what is בכל דרכיך דאר? Know Hashem with everything that you do. The person should be able to perceive the tachlis in every single thing that he does. How is it possible? B'chol dovo, ki kol dovo nivu b'oisis. Everything was created with the letters, with the Dibur of Hashem, right? Uv'chol ois, as we said before, yesh bo shleimus, and it has perfection. The hayin nekuda achorin asher yud. In other words, the last point, which is the yud. Everything has it in it. everything is created from letters, right? Dibur of Hashem. It's made out of the on molecular level, that's the letters. On the atomic level, the Yud is there. That's the perfection. That's the end. And it's Olam Haba, Sheyat Tachlis, a Mashlim Tmunas Oris. That's the Tachlis, that's the Yud that completes the letter. And as embedded as you are in the Neshama of the Tzaddik, you're zeicha to be mekabel the Tachlis from the Tzaddik. And then you're zeicha to grasp the Tachlis in everything. All this is done, remember, when a person mitigates, sweetens the anger that attacks him with Rachmanis. Doesn't act on the anger. It is said, as we said before. This causes the tzaddik to accept the leadership. Until then, he escaped the leadership, not realizing that the reason why he, as the Rebbe told him, he's afraid to be a Rav. He says, who's supposed to be afraid? Not some. Who's supposed to be a Rav? Somebody's not afraid. The tzaddikim, they ran away. They ran away from leadership. Why? Because they figured that they're not worthy. Who should be somebody who thinks that he's worthy? But the reason why they run away from it, that they think that they are not worthy, is because really there's lack of amun in the world. The lack of amun in the world causes a subliminal anger of Hashem. That anger manifests itself in the tzaddikim. But even when there's avodah zarah, the anger in the world is like a nanosecond. When it's just a lack of emunah, the emunah is not perfect. It's not that the lack of emunah in Am Yisrael. So the manifestation of the anger in the tzaddikim is so subtle that they don't attribute the fact that they will run away from leadership, in the anger. They think wisely, because I'm not worthy. But when you and I, we force ourselves not to act upon anger, like Adabah, to exactly behave with Rachmanas, we can force the tzaddikim to accept that Hagah. When they accept that Hagah, then he gets the tachlis because his malchus is proper. Therefore, according to how much as embedded as you are in the Shama of the tzaddik, this is how you're zeicha to receive the tachlis from the tzaddik. We're going to stop here, because we're going to get into another concept in the next in Seif Zayin. Thank you. You're welcome. For nothing. De nada.